Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of We Are Legion Live. Tonight, we bring you the rockin' Guy Snowdon.
Doing?
How's it going, man?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Been kind of a long day today. I was running around with my boys, but other than that, I'm doing great.
It's and parents at home. That's what we do.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I forgot whether Cleveland was in the Eastern time zone or not. So I was like at 8:30, but it's already past 8:30 if he's in Eastern. So I was like 9.
Yeah, we 5-year-old. So I think this is the latest I've been up for about 6 months now.
Oh yeah, I feel your pain, man. I got a 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old boy. So
Wow.
and the 6-year-old's in kindergarten now. So luckily has to go to bed early so he can get up and go to school.
Well, at least you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Hang on, I've got to talk to the chat there real quick. So what have you been working on, man?
So currently, at the minute, we're dealing with the album. We put out 2 singles earlier this year, and we followed it with a live EP. And now we're just concentrating on a full album, which is kind of going pretty bloody well right at this minute. We've had some amazing musicians involved, not just the guys that are in the band, but some exterior musicians as well. So yeah, it's just preparing for a huge album release next year.
Oh, do you have more than one device up right now?
Nope.
Okay. Any apps open in the background?
Nope.
Okay. All right, because we're getting kind of an echo, so
Okay.
we'll just have to go on with it like that, I guess. So I was listening to your stuff earlier, and I was kind of had a 80s, early 90s feel to some of your music. Where do you pull most of your inspiration from?
The problem that I have is my inspiration. Let me just try, because I can now hear it. Let me try and just this. Sorry, bear with me.
Okay.
There's nothing else on me, but I can hear myself back.
Yeah.
But no. Do you want me to try it without the headphones?
Now I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you turn your mic up?
I have no idea. Computer electric. Let me try turning my.
There you go. There you go.
Better?
You were kind of cutting in and out there for a second, but yeah, it was better there.
Okay. So my meat is inspired by just English band. I grew up in the north, so it's kind of Oasis, Blur, and all that kind of rock era. And then the school, obviously, the Beatles and the Who and Rolling Stones. That's pretty much it. That's where I got it. And then my later teens, I came across people physically like from Led Zeppelin, and I discovered Led Zeppelin and all those bands, and I realised, hey, I can sing like that. Bands like Queen as well. They were huge inspirations.
No, well, Queen's one of my all-time favorites. You don't even want. I got Freddie right here on my wall. There's Freddie, and there's the rest of the band. So yeah, I'm a huge Queen fan. I tell everybody, if you ever get a chance, go to YouTube and check out their Live Aid performance. The whole 26 minutes of it on YouTube, they have it out there, and it's one of the best rock shows you'll ever see in your life. So
Check out. It's funny. Myself and my daughter. Myself and my daughter had flu shots today, and while she was having a flu shot, the one thing that she always calmed down to, Hungarian rock, which is Queen, and she was getting a flu shot until I put my phone in Freddie, and that was calm. So it's always
whatever works, whatever works. My kids, it's as soon as I get the shot, they gotta get a lollipop. Yep, boom.
Yeah, in this sense,
it's the end. Yeah, it's the end of the world if they don't get one. So yeah. So how is everything up there in Cleveland? I know we're getting ready to go through another wave of lockdowns and stuff. But have you guys got to go out and gig little, or has it just been practice? Or
interesting. Me and the definitely taking a step back. This is our first year as being a band, and Billy, my keyboard player, is very kind of strict on the fact that he wants to go out. The rest of the guys, we it's not that we're more going out. It's just the fact that we are. Sorry, just trying to figure out how we can get rid of the delay in the vocal. But yeah, me and the rest of the guys, we're kind of a bit more flexible. We're trying to take precautions, but Billy's just no. He doesn't want to play, which we all accept. This is a very serious matter that we're all going through, and sorry, I just can't.
We need to get it sorted.
Yeah.
does she happen to have it open up on her phone?
No, it's coming back from. I think it's your end. I think it's my microphone coming through your speakers.
The only one I got up is my
echo cancellation.
Sorry about this.
When I mute my mic, go ahead and talk, and we'll see if it takes out the.
Can you hear me? Can you still hear me? Awesome. No, then we sorted it.
Sorry.
I think that's what it is you're coming back through my speaker. So
yeah,
when you're talking, I'll just mute my mic.
Spot on. I think we've cracked it. No, with the whole COVID thing, Billy's very strict, and I appreciate that. You know, he's got his family to look after. The rest of us, we are still, you know, very, very kind of formulated in how we're kind of approaching this matter. We don't want to lose out, you know, because we're still a very new band, and we've been very strict on what we do. I think we've performed once live. We've actually planning to do a live stream with a guy down the road in Cleveland. The fact that the numbers are going up again, you know, we can't be dealing with that anymore. Especially as musicians, you know, we've got to do what we've got to do with the whole thing with the band. I've performed, I think, about 4 times now as a solo act, but that's because that's my income, you know. And Tyler's gone out with his other band, and so is Zach. We're open to gigging. Virgil, get down. And we're very much open to gigging. It's just as long as the precautions are there, and everybody's taking the proper procedures to make everybody safe, we're happy to perform. And that's pretty much it. I think we've done one gig since March, and I'd like to keep it that way until we're all very, very happy to carry on. And it's not just from a band's point of view and an audience's point of view, it's got to be the venue. We did that one gig, July the 4th, at the Music Box, which is a renowned venue in Cleveland. And the reason why we took that gig was because we were a week away from our gig at the Music Box, and then lockdown happened. And we just went, Luckily, the Music Box came back and they just went, hey, July the 4th, you've got a gig. Irony, being English and singing on July the 4th, it's happened 3 years in a row now. Not at the Music Box, but at other venues for me. But, we did it. And, hey, I was happy. We pulled about 40 people there. And you know what? It's a place that can hold 200. 40 people to come and just sit separated. Everybody was comfortable. Everybody had a good time. And we performed and it was safe and we all walked away and there was nothing that could have jeopardized that gig at all. I'm happy, It's a really interesting time. I think bands can not only thrive, but I think bands can keep themselves, in the forefront. It's just we're dealing with something that isn't the norm, and it's going to kind of, I think it'll put a lot of bands forward than people kind of who aren't so serious, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. What I've been telling, there's some people that I've been talking to on here, they might complain that they've got to play to these smaller audiences, and I've told them to try to embrace that and use it to test new things out on a smaller audience. If it works on a smaller audience, then whenever you get to play bigger shows again, you can try it on the bigger shows. But yeah, for a band, mostly those are solo artists. They don't have to worry about bands. They play acoustically on their own and stuff. You guys got families and stuff to worry about. That's completely understandable how you guys have been handling it and keeping it that way. I know you guys would much rather everything be back to normal and everybody play, but yeah, I could fully understand why you're doing it that way.
It's so interesting because this is our first year and we've already made a dent in the music scene as a band, and that that's not just me saying it, that's from the reaction that we've had and from who we're talking to. And I think that's the thing, it's like when I mentioned that my bandmates are very strict on what's going on and that they don't want to gig, that's all of our decision. We don't want to put anybody at risk. But the thing is, for me, when I say that I'm going out and still, I've done 4 gigs, I'm still going out and gigging, but I'm in control of that. When I'm on the stage, my gig bag now has hand sanitizer in it. I'm consistently wearing a mask. I've even contemplated singing with a mask. But the thing is, when you sing it, when you're singing a big line like wow, and then you take a deep breath, you're like, oh my god, I've swallowed half a bowl of cotton. You can't. You're just on one of those kind of things where you're just like, okay, I've got to be realistic here. Nobody's going to take my breath in because they're a distance away, and that's the thing. I'm in my safe kind of zone where I'm on a designated stage. I'm only playing venues where I feel comfortable, and yeah, I think the mentality of this year, it's so interesting, and I think, as I said, it's only going to make bands stronger. The bands that last, you know, and that's the sad thing. You know, we're going to lose a lot of talented people because nobody can sustain not working. And I think we are in an incredibly privileged position as a band that even though we're still so young, that we can sustain this year, hopefully, year.
Yeah, you mentioned that the losing bands and things like that. I've been talking a lot about that. It's not just like the bands for acts that go out and actually play arenas and tours and festivals and stuff. You got all the roadies, you got the makeup people, you got the hair people, the clothing people. All those people have been out of work this whole time, and that industry is really, really hurting. And we, I would much rather this stuff. Hopefully, this new vaccine that they got coming out, that's 90% effective, will help knock everything back down, and we can get things back to normal.
Well, my keyboard player Billy's job is he's a stagehand and he's the rigger. He's mid-20s. He just jumps up those ladders and everything like that. He's amazing, and he hasn't had any work on this year because of it. You know, but we'll get there. We'll get there, and yeah, you know, it is what it is.
I definitely get that. So, if what or when we get back to normal, and you had the chance to play with any band or artist, who would you guys want to play with?
I think my T-shirt might say something, but well, the Beatles aren't going to get back together. So, anybody that would get back together, yeah. No, well, no, I'd say it doesn't matter as long as we're playing. You know, we have Saturday. Listen to our sound, because I think you'll be able to just hear so many acts in what we do, and we're trying to do our songs in this new style. But I think we touch base, and the funny thing is, I heard a few samples from the new AC/DC album, and I was just thinking, yeah, I think we're going to be all right, because this classic rock sound, okay, they're Australian, they're labeled Australian, but they're definitely British. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, it's not lost. It's not lost. Rock and roll will come back. And this Saturday, for all you watching, tune in, and hopefully we'll blow you away. But yeah, for a band to go and tour with, couldn't go any better, could you?
I'll tell you what, I've seen Bad Company, and you're not lying. They put on an amazing show, and I don't care who you are, if you're a music fan at all. When Bad Company starts playing Bad Company, you're gonna stop and listen, and you're gonna pay attention to what they're doing. A lot of the trends now. I know you do rock, but a lot of people are doing a lot of cross genre stuff, like adding, say, some hip hop in with the rock, and or adding even country music in with the rock. Have you guys ever thought about doing anything like that?
Well, it's interesting. That's a great question, because the thing for me was being English. Over here, it's of course I'm influenced by a lot of English acts and a lot of kind of, well, yeah, just basically English acts, you know, English rock from the bands that we've mentioned before, including said Bad Company. This is no advertisement for Bad Company. But I wanted to make sure that, you know, we're called Guy Snowdon the Citizens. the Citizens are the guys that that I've managed to piece around me, because I'm in this country where I moved over here about 4 years ago, and I knew nobody. And I've spent 4 years trying to perform, and I've tried to get this band together from the recommendation of a friend of mine. He just went, "I've heard your songs. I think you need to form a band." So I formed this band, and we were talking, and I thought to myself, sorry, I thought to myself that that basically it can't just be English rock. It's got to be something more than that. And when we started writing this album, I thought there's got to be this part of American music to it. So there are a few songs on there where I think we've kind of hit the bluegrass, the kind of the country style music to it. And yeah, I think that influence on the music, just to bring in different genres, especially the Americanism. I call ourselves Anglo-American, because it can't just be me, because it's not my influence, because I'm writing the songs, but I'm sending it to some guys which are massively influenced by other musicians, you know, which and that's the ironic thing. Moving to America, there are so many which seem so obvious to you guys, musicians that I've never heard of back in England. And that's been a huge learning curve to me.
And then you mentioned that I've actually started getting quite a large following in England and stuff like that. And I've been sharing their music over here and sharing the stuff over there, because you might hear mainstream bands over there, but you don't hear some of the other really great musicians that you never get played on the radio. So that's why I started this whole thing to begin with, was kind of to let musicians from all over kind of meet up and share each other's influence, and hopefully make yourself better artists just by listening to that. Maybe you could find someone to collab with, or you're like, maybe you wrote a song and it just doesn't seem quite right to you, but you're like, you know what, this person would be perfect for that. Maybe I'll hit them up and see if they want to sing this song or sing a duet with or something to that effect. And I've been really getting a good positive response. Still, most of my acts coming from England are either hip hop or country at this point in time. I'd like to get some more rock influenced bands from over there, but it's we're working on it.
It's a very rare thing. It's an incredibly rare thing to find. Well, I say this from my experience, and yet I left the country 4 years ago. You know, when I was singing it over there, I got a lot of attention, but that wasn't mainstream. It was just people discovered me, you know, and it was when you look at the amount of acts out there, yeah, there's really nothing original going around, but that was my experience. And I remember I remember coming over here and being told, hey, you could perform some original music and get paid for it. In I think it was like 6 years of playing original music back in England, I got paid £20 in 6 years. You know, which is what, $13? I don't know. People don't pay for original music unless, you know, you've got this connection. And it's a very difficult and different battleground. I think my saving grace is moving to America, having a voice which people over here. I remember turning the radio on. This was the thing that made it for me. I turned the radio on and I drove to a gas station. The first time I drove a car over here, and literally I heard "Have a Cigar" by Pink Floyd on the radio, and I just thought, whoa, why is this on the radio? Because you would never, ever get that on the radio in England. And I thought, okay, there's something here. If they're playing Deep Cuts by Pink Floyd, maybe there is a case, you know. And ever since, I've been blown away by the reception that I've come across. And you know, England is a very, very difficult market, and there are some amazing acts out there. It's very self-indulged in specific genres at the moment, but you know, there are some very, very hidden bands that definitely need to be more on the forefront, but I think are being pushed back. And you know, hopefully we can make it forward.
Absolutely. So, all right, picture this scenario. All right, it's July of next year. Pandemic's done with. Everything's all clear. We're back to normal. You get a phone call saying they want you to play the O2 Arena. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the headliner. Who's opening for you?
Who's opening for me? Who would open for me?
And don't be modest either. Pick anybody you want. They've picked you to be the headliner, and they said anybody you want to open for.
I think it would be. I think I'd open for myself. I have enough solo songs that I would just be that. Yeah, no, I genuinely think if we got that call next year, it would be one of those shows where, yeah, I wouldn't say why not make a show about it. You know, for me to perform music, and this is what this band is doing. We are piecing together not just the music, but we're trying to make a show out of it. And it's not just about us on stage; it's how the songs flow. When we are rehearsing, we piece together exactly how we are going to perform. I am the most boring person as a frontman, but you know what? I'm working with the guys because my guitarist Tyler is the most sensational frontman, and I'm working on him. When I say I'm boring, I stand, I sing, and I kind of give you what I feel. You know, to me, I just feel like I do nothing, but I'm doing something right. And then I've got this guy who's prancing around the stage, and he's looking amazing. And then I've got Billy who's like doing all these massive kind of things on his Hammond, and he's kind of throwing himself about. And you've just got Zach driving the beat. You've got this fantastic band around you, but we structure how we perform. And I think that's the thing. It's like, if you ask me that question, I'm going to say I'm going to open for myself, because I want to stand up there and I want to play some acoustic songs. And I want to say, do you know what? The next thing you're going to see is me with 3 other people, and we're going to be so freaking loud and so powerful that you're not going to believe what you're seeing. And that's, you know, that's what I genuinely believe. And that's what I see.
Okay. Would you rather play the O2 or the Q?
Well, I prefer to play the Q because it's down the road and I can come back to my own bed. And if I played the O2, I'd have to drive to my mum's house. I'd rather sleep with my wife. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a musician, you really couldn't turn down either venue. I mean,
No.
the O2 is probably the biggest one in England.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge venue. I remember when the DVD came out of the Led Zeppelin reunion celebration day, and just watching it and thinking, wow, you know, you can't fault it. You can't fault it as a venue. And I saw, God rest his soul, when we moved to Cleveland, we saw Tom Petty with Joe Walsh supporting. He's literally, that was the dream gig for me. I'm a huge Joe Walsh fan and a massive Tom Petty fan. And as soon as I walked in there, I just thought, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. I've seen baseball there. My wife's even sang there. She sang the national anthem for one of the basketball games. And that was a very proud moment. But yeah, it's both are equally amazing. Hey, if you've got the option to play both of those places, you're good. so
Yeah, I mean, if you had that option,
I'm going to play both. All right.
exactly. I mean, if you actually had the option to play with it, you've probably made it. I mean, there's a lot of history and a lot of big acts that have played those arenas, and if you're playing arena shows, I'm pretty safe to say that you're doing all right in music.
I'd be happy with that paycheck.
And that's what I tell people. I don't know. Have you dropped your links on my daily stream that I do on Twitter?
I believe my wife might have. She does all my. I'm completely computer illiterate. So.
Okay. Well, every day on those streams, we get between 8,000 and 25,000 views on those streams every day. So I tell them, I was like, if you're not dropping your links on there, you're wasting a golden opportunity, because that's like playing your song that you just dropped to an arena every single day. It may be a smaller arena, but it's still an arena. I mean,
it's still a big place.
Yeah, you're still getting 8 to 25,000 views possibly every single day on your music. So if you're not dropping your links, you're probably missing that golden opportunity for people to share. And that's how people are consuming music right now, is they're watching the videos, they're streaming everything, and any chance you get to get your music out there, you should really take advantage of that.
And and that's not just for me, it's just for every musician. If there are musicians watching, take advantage of these situations. I remember back in the UK, I was in a band, and we went from playing a pub to 10 days later playing to 15,000 in a stadium. These opportunities don't come around that often. And, thank you for what you do, because it's got to be difficult, especially in this time. Everybody's online, everybody's trying to do it. And it's people like yourself that do this for us, and can only thank you to give us this opportunity.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's an honor to be able to work with you all, and to be able to get to know you. I mean, I can't wait until live shows come back and I can get back out on the road and go to shows and actually see you all in person and hang out and stuff like that. That would be amazing. That's my preferred method of consuming music, is live. Not that I don't like the live streams; they're just not the same. You don't get the energy.
It's just restricted.
You don't get the energy from the crowd. You don't get the energy from the artist, and it's kind of makes things a little flat. But I'll take it any way I can get it. If that's the only way I can get it right now.
But maybe you're getting some renovation ideas, because you're currently sat in my dining room. You can see my blinds, you can see everything. So.
You mentioned earlier you have a show on Saturday. Tell everybody how they can view that show on Saturday.
So we're going to be doing a live stream show. I think it's going to be also linked through our YouTube channel, which you can find at Guy and the Citizens on YouTube. It's not Guy Snowdon and the Citizens, because that's too many letters. But yeah, we're doing a show with a local place called Q Studios, and it's going to be great. It's the first time really since July that we've all performed live. It's giving us an opportunity to reach out to our followers and our crowd, and we're going to be doing an hour's set. You can pay for I think a GoFundMe tickets to just help fund the band and the studios, because we have taken a big hit as individuals, and got to do what you got to do. But yeah, we're going to do literally non-stop, hit you in the face rock for a good old hour, and it's going to be live streamed YouTube, on our Facebook. I think it's also going to be streamed on many other platforms. I'm not too sure, but it's going to be there. It's going to be there. If you like the idea of my voice, then go and definitely listen to it.
Well, I can tell you if the chat that if you haven't checked out their YouTube page yet and heard his music or streamed on Spotify or whatever, it's definitely worth going and checking out. It's if you like rock and roll, you'll really like this. It's a good time. Do you guys have a merch? Any merch?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Go ahead and shout that out, man.
We have t-shirts, we have buttons, we have live music on Spotify and iTunes and all that kind of stuff. We've got a live EP, and we've got 2 singles out. We've got the album coming out hopefully within the next few months. There's something in the pipeline which is going to be incredible if we pull it off, and for such an early band, it's going to be astronomical. But the album will be out next year, whether it comes through or not. And it's just going to be, it's going to be great. If you like just good rock and roll, and I've been told that we hit so many genres. You can call it kind of metal, you can call it rock, you can call it rock and roll, you can call it heavy rock, you can call it classic rock. Hey, if you just like music, go and listen to.
Yeah. Do you guys have a website that you can order your merch from, or is it just
at the minute?
Local?
At the minute, we've got. I don't know if it's for sale on the website, but we can definitely make a link available. If people want to buy, we do advertise our merchandise on our Facebook. So if people would like to purchase it, kind of thing, so yes, you can. The music at the minute is digital download only. So I think hard copies will be available as of next year for the music. But at the minute, t-shirts, buttons, drop us a message if you want one. It's very, very good.
What I do is I collect 8x10s of the artists that have been on my show, and I like to put them up around here so people can see them in the background and stuff. So if there's any way I can get a signed 8x10 from you in the band, that would be outstanding. You can DM me and we can figure out something later. I don't mind.
We can definitely do
that. That would be amazing. And I got some premium wall space back here by Kurt Cobain and Pearl Jam. So not bad people to have in company with.
Definitely not.
And but
as long as you put me above Eddie, then that's fine.
We can get you above Eddie. Yeah, I got room for it. Yeah. Might have to do some rearranging, but we'll get it done.
We can figure something.
Yeah, I definitely. Whenever the album's getting ready to come out, definitely hit me back up. We'll get you back on the show so we can get that album promoted. And
awesome.
Matter of fact, anytime you want to be on the show, you just let me know, and we can make that happen. That's not an issue at all. I love doing these. I was doing them only once a week, but then I realized that the interest from artists was just one night a week wasn't going to get it. if I did it one night a week, I'd already be booked up all through 21 right now. On Wednesdays, it's just been that crazy. Uh, but
Well, you've
I
got a good thing going.
well,
As I
I'm
said
trying.
earlier, thank you ever so much for what you're doing for artists.
It's completely my pleasure, and I enjoy doing this. I'm hoping that sometime, I was hoping the first of the year, but maybe a little bit longer into the year, it might take, that I can actually quit my day job and start doing this stuff full time, promoting, which would be outstanding because as much as people say that I do for them, I feel like there's a lot more that I could do and I want to do because there's so many amazing singers and bands that people have just never heard of, and it's a shame because they're just so amazing and they deserve to be heard, just like the premium acts that have the big studio backings that get crammed down our throats from the radio, you know.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes they get the bands when they get that big, they get lost along the way, and it becomes more about just making the money, which I understand why they do that, than it does about making the music. And right now, especially unsigned artists such as yourself and everybody else that I interview on here, they do this for the love of the music. That's why they're doing it. And they're just hoping to make a career out of it. And like you said yourself, if you just love music, that's me. I just love music. You name a genre, you name a time period, and I can tell you an artist that you got to listen to from that era. And some of them you may never have heard of, but uh, there's definitely some very good ones that never got the big airplay that some of the other ones do, and that's why this live streaming and stuff so important now, because now you have an advantage that those folks didn't have. They had to earn their stripes playing the small crappy little bars and stuff all the time, where now you can do a live stream or you have Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff where you can pull an audience from that they didn't have for a very long
That's
time.
exactly it. We put a post out a few months ago, and I think it was within 24 hours, we had this huge response from Japan, Malaysia, and all these kind of faraway countries we'd never even thought about hitting, from a marketing point of view. And we got this response, and it was just like, whoa, this guy on the other side of the world's listened to my band, And we're open to a network now where, and I think there is the part, of course, it's always about music, but now we're in this position in technology and the way things are. We've got to be realistic in the sense of we're open to spreading our music so far across the world that there is the part where you think, well, if I put my music online, I'm going to earn some money. They didn't have that 20 years ago. People can write a song and put it online and earn 20 cents in a month, from live streams. I wouldn't say from Spotify, but, from other streaming platforms. But, you've got this opportunity now where you can write a song, put it online and earn money. And I don't think it's detracting from the fact that, yes, of course, it's all about the music, but there is this kind of financial opportunity that people are available to, so to say, I wouldn't disregard your comment to say it's all about the music, because of course, when I go down and to my basement and I sit there and I write a song, of course, I'm in the moment. I write song after song after song before then one appears, and I go, there's something there. Of course, that's a moment which makes you write this piece, which has come out of you emotionally, in that moment, and you think, hey, that's a good thing. But then you suddenly realize I can make something from this. You know, it's 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 like an artist painting a picture. He looks at it and he suddenly goes, I could sell this and I'd get some payback just from me doing that. That's a great opportunity that musicians are open to now. And I think we've now got two platforms, whether it's performing live or whether it's selling songs online, and that's a wonderful situation for people to be in. Of course, one of them has been taken away this year with the whole coronavirus, but maybe it'll make people realize the situation that we are in as artists.
And so much, well, like 20 years ago, the way people consume music is way different than they do now. I mean, 20 years ago, they're buying CDs and
And cassettes.
cassettes, still cassettes. Yes, believe me, I grew up with the cassettes, and now they don't do that. Listening. They're listening to their music online. They're listening to the YouTubes. They're watching the videos on YouTube. They're they're streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, what have you. Pick your platform du jour. But they're that's how they're consuming music right now. I think it's more apt, and the pandemic is unfortunate for live music, but I think it helps artists realize that, you know what, we can do just fine if we just keep getting content and placing it online. If you drop a new song every 6 to 8 weeks and maybe drop a lyric video, or you have merch to sell and stuff, and as long as you're keeping yourself alive online where people can see you, you're not really losing that much, because we're going to come out of this pandemic a whole lot better than the ones that didn't take advantage of the social media.
I think, yeah, I think you're bang on. At the end of the day, this is a job. For me personally, I can't speak for other musicians, but for me, I see this as a job. This is something that I am trying to make a career out of. I'm trying to be creative in my own way. This isn't me, being a guy that gets up at 9 o'clock in the morning and gets in his, oh no, hang on, turns up at the office at 9 o'clock in the morning. If I got up at 9 o'clock in the morning and turned up to the office, it would be 10 o'clock. But it was, this is me in my personal view, and how I work. When I have the opportunity, it's mostly in the morning when my daughter would go for school. She would be out of the house by 7:30, and I write songs, and I go straight into the basement. My work method is I spend half an hour just playing, and if I can't come up with anything, then that's it. But normally, when I write a song, it's within 2 hours. I've got to have it written, I've got to have it recorded, and I've got to have it mixed within 2 hours. Else, I'm not interested. I have so many unfinished songs, but I have a lot of finished songs from that method. It's just the way that I work, and that is why I call what I do a job, because you've got to have this method to it. And I think the experience with working with a lot of other people has taught me that. I've worked with many people, from major label producers to the tiniest of just newcomers to the music scene. Music will always be there as long as people work hard at it, and as long as people are just are there really to receive it as well. You know.
Yeah, the thing that all artists need to realize in this time is that there is always going to be a craving for music. Music is life. Okay, there's not one person that I can say that can make it through without listening to the music at some point in time. It helps people get through problems that they're having, and they celebrate with music, whatever have you. So if find a way to make it through this tough time, and the more you can get yourself out there, like I said, during this time, the more you're going to come out the better on the back end of this.
I think that's a good, that's a really important thing. Is if we get through this, we have a lot of time at the moment to ourselves, and even though we're all still very busy, there are lots of people still being creative, and I think the thing is, it's like if I'm being creative, I want to make sure that that is put forward to who I want to listen to what I'm putting out. It's not just about my experience. It's with creating a song. It's got to be when I'm writing the song and putting the time and effort in, which I currently have. With this sad, it's. I think that's the thing is it's not a happy opportunity because of what's going on, in the world. When you've got people being made ill because of such a horrendous thing that is going on, it's can you take advantage of it and look positive on it? I don't know, but at the minute, I kind of am, because I'm trying to make a positive thing out of a negative thing. And when I'm writing a song, I want to make sure people, when they listen to it, think exactly. I'd like people to think exactly what I'm thinking when I'm writing it. I want them to think, "Hey, that's good." you know?
And that is the key. That's what I look for when I listen to music. It's can the performer make me feel what they were feeling
Yeah.
when they wrote the song, and that's what makes the connection. That's what makes music so great to me. Is let me feel the emotion you were feeling when you were putting that down on paper. An idea came in your head, whether it be sadness, be joy, what have you. If I can feel what you're feeling, it's going to be a great song. I don't care if anybody else wants to listen to it on the radio or not. I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to remember it. I'm going to put it in my playlist and it's going to be there for when I need it again because it's going to spark that particular emotion in me. And that's why I listen to the music.
Mhm. And that's got to be it. And as a writer myself, it's that's all you ever want. And I remember a year ago, I wasn't really interested in performing original music until my very good friend turned around to me and said, "You've got to perform some of these tracks." And I was like, "Okay, I will." And I have, and we are, and we're doing it. And hey, if I can make somebody smile and feel good from me, just just standing on stage going, "Oh!" and all that kind of crap, it's that's the best feeling ever. I'd made myself into a position where I thought original music wasn't worth doing. But this last year, I've completely taken it and I've ran, and currently at the minute, I'm at the 25-mile mark of a marathon. I'm still there. I'm still there. I'm holding up and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And I'm not going to stop anytime soon. And I think with the guys on board, we're doing something. We're doing something.
And that's the key as long as you keep moving forward. Um, as an artist, do you see yourself more as a songwriter or do you see yourself more as a performer?
For myself personally, I see myself as that's a good question. I'm me, you know. I write songs and I go on stage and I sing, and that's an interesting one because I've always, only until this situation that we're in have I ever missed gigging. I love being in the studio. I love being creative, but up until March when gigs were taken away, uh, it kind of made me realize how selfish musicians are to crave people's attention. You know, we miss gigging. Why do we miss gigging? Well, we miss performing to people, random strangers. We want their attention. We want their acceptance as our art, you know, and I think it's been such an interesting learning curve. So for me, yeah, I wouldn't know anymore because I've never seen myself as an amazing performer on stage. But since the actual part of being on stage has been taken away from us, I'm trying a lot harder. So I think that's probably my answer to that one.
You know, it's pretty amazing that sometimes you don't realize how much you'll miss something until they do take it away from you.
Yeah.
And it's not, you realize that that was part of the process, and now you're missing that part of the process. So it does affect you, and oh man, I really want everybody to get back. I mean, I got so many friends that are musicians and stuff. I've met so many new people doing this, and it pains me that we can't be out there and doing live shows. And because as as an artist, I know from everybody that I've talked to that they do. You crave that attention from the crowd. You want them to be into your music, and you want to get that kind of synergy between you and the crowd that makes it all worthwhile. I mean,
Yeah. I think that's the big thing is you want that connection with people. My connection with the crowd has always been my voice, and I've always kind of struggled to accept it. But I think, you know, I would rather I would rather be in this situation to not be gigging because of health reasons than to be gigging and thinking that half the crowd couldn't be there the following 6 months' time. You know, I think what we are doing is the right thing. I know it's incredibly difficult. I know we are losing venues day after day after day after day. For me in England, years ago we started losing pubs. You know, we in England, yeah, you do have venues, but a lot of bands starting perform in pubs, and we were losing pubs weekly, you know, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Some of the greatest venues, you know, one of the ones which I used to play quite regularly, where the Beatles and the Stones toured, you know, through the 60s and stuff like that, it's gone now. You know, it's I don't even think it's there. I think they've been demolished. We went through that back in, you know, 2000 and I won't say. But you know, it's to lose venues is dreadful. It is because there are so many people affected. But we'll get through this. As long, you know, we will get through this, and we have to get through it, because if we don't, there's not going to be anything here. If we don't take the precautions, and we don't look after ourselves, well, what is there? But that's not just because of COVID, it's everything in life. If you don't look after yourself, what is and
It's funny that you mentioned that because I think this has kind of put that back into perspective for people is they've kind of lost their way and they really weren't paying much attention to, especially being American. I can say this is Americans are horrible at looking after their own health. They indulge in stuff and overindulge in stuff, and they just got to a point where that wasn't a main concern, and this has kind of put that back in perspective for them. That yeah, maybe not just with COVID, but you got to keep looking after yourself, or bad things are going to happen. I mean, now because of the COVID, you're like underlying conditions, which is caused by the overindulgences that you were doing, are are making COVID that much worse because you drank too much, you let yourself eat too much, you didn't exercise, um, and you didn't take care of yourself. And now you have this like, extra problem that if you do catch it, you're going to end up in the hospital for an extended period of time. And so it kind of put that back in perspective for people. And not that I'm saying that COVID's a good thing. I'm trying to just find bright spots in the darkness here.
the bright spot is we're going to get through it, and we will. We're going to take some hits, but we will all, at the end of the day, we'll be fine, as people. And there's a lot of love, and there's a lot of people out there that wanna make sure that we're all okay. So, we'll get through it. We, as I said, we might lose a couple of venues, and we might lose, sadly, some friends, but we will see an end to this. It's a very sad time, but we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah, because we might lose some of the classic venues, like you said, the ones where the Stones and the Beatles went through. But once this is over and we get back into doing it, there's going to be new venues. It's not going to be the same, but then you could be the name that they're saying, well, hey, 20 years from now, they're like, I got to play a venue that guy in the Citizens played, and
And that,
that's
if whoever comes out of this as a whole and as a success will be fine. This is musician, as a band, because there is the part that when this came out back in February, March time, I genuinely thought, how is a band going to survive? Because we can't perform, we can't gig. What do we do? So me and the lads kind of got together and we brainstormed for a couple of days, and we came up with a few ideas. And we haven't bombarded because we just thought we don't want to burn ourselves out. And I think we kind of, I wouldn't say we've retracted from the way that we've done things, but we've just taken it easy, because it's like there are so many ideas of what we can and what we should. No, should do is not the right word. What we can do and just what we could do. We just want to make sure that, hey, you don't know how long this thing is going to take. Don't burn yourself out within 3 months. We did a live performance, and we performed a couple of tracks that we released out, and then we did the live EP, which was wonderful to record. We went to our drummer's house and we socially distanced ourselves, and there's a couple of videos from that live EP performance. And we were like stood in our drummer's backyard, and we were just in this wooded area, and we were taking all the power from his house, and we just performed for a solid 25 minutes, and it was so fun, to just be with friends and not have to worry, because we knew that we were taking the right precautions, and it was such a lot of fun. And I think that's it. Just do what you need to do to make sure that everything is going to be fine. And yeah, we've got this other performance on Saturday. We're going to be performing different tracks to what we did in that live performance and the live EP, because we've had the time to occasionally get together and perform. And as I mentioned earlier, Billy, our keyboard player, he's very strict on what he's doing at the minute. But even he was comfortable, to come across and get some rehearsals done, because he just thought, I can do this in a safe and healthy way, and we can have a lot of fun. Every time we had a rehearsal, we've had 2 rehearsals, and we have all walked away just going, that was brilliant. And that's it. As long as you can walk away smiling through all this crap, that's the big game. That's the big game.
Yeah, and I imagine those rehearsals, even though they're not the same as a live show, it probably helps reinvigorate you and uh, gives you that feeling like, yeah, this is what we're supposed to be. This is what we're meant to do, and no matter how long it takes, we're going to see this through, and we're going to come out of this even better on the backside.
Well, I text the lads, I think it was a couple of days ago, and I said, hey, we've got this opportunity to do this stream. Are we up for it? And the lads were like, yeah, let me check, let's see what we've all got going on, and just make sure that we're all okay. And I just put one message, and I just went, I'm fed up of playing on my own. I've done 4 gigs in 6 months, and because I've segregated myself from the crowd, I've made sure that I was completely isolated and all that kind of stuff. I think the closest I got to a person was when I was literally ordering a soda water at the bar, and my keyboard player, he just when I told him that I went to the bar to order a soda water, he said, you went to the bar? And I said, yeah, I didn't think it was appropriate to shout across the restaurant to "Oi, can I have a soda water?" Probably not a doable thing. But when I, to think that I'm now going to play with 3 of the best musicians that I genuinely believe are around in Cleveland, it just gets me so excited, And I think that's, I wouldn't say it's because I don't want to make anybody feel that this is the start of anything, positive with COVID. I'm not a spokesperson or anything. For me, it's just an exciting opportunity to be with the lads, and it's just a great opportunity to get back together and to perform again.
All right, well, we probably should be wrapping it up a little bit, but I want to give you some time to shout out again your social media pages so people can follow you. So, yeah, if you want to, go ahead and.
Yeah, so you can find us on Spotify, iTunes. We've got a Spotify playlist of not only our songs, but also songs that inspired us. I think Spotify is Guy Snowdon and the Citizens. We have the Facebook. Everything is Guy and the Citizens. We've got our YouTube channel, which we're pushing, which is what the live stream I think is going to be put to. This Saturday we're at Q Studios. Facebook, Twitter, Guy and the Citizens. The band is called Guy Snowdon and the Citizens. And no, thank you ever so much for having me, and we'll see you on the back.
Absolutely, and like I said, anytime that you want to come on, do a shout out and say, hey, we got our music's coming out, or you want to come back on and do another episode, maybe next time we got all this stuff taken care of and we can have the whole band on, that would be outstanding. Or if we want to, I can drop the link to. I can do up to 10 people on the stream, so they could even stay at home and join in if they want to.
Let's get the band involved.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we'll definitely get the band involved. I would like to definitely talk to them and get their perspective on things. I will DM you about getting that photo done. Maybe you guys can take a picture on Saturday or something
Oh, definitely.
and get it signed for me, and that would be awesome. And then I'll get it up on the wall. But yeah, just anything, anything you guys need. You're putting a new video up on YouTube. Let me know. I'll shout it out on Twitter, and I'll put it on Instagram, Facebook, whatnot, and we'll see if we can't get a whole bunch more views for you.
Smashing. Well, thank you ever so much for your time.
You have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out and joining us tonight on We Are Legion Live. I will see you again on Monday. We actually have 3 shows scheduled for next week. We got one for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. So be sure to check those out, and I'll be tweeting out a list later on of who all those are going to be once they are locked in and set and ready to go. But make sure you hit the like on the way out, and if you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. But we will see you next time. Have a good evening.